Good afternoon, Monarchs. We are entering our last month of the spring semester. I continue to be incredibly impressed with how well you've responded to the radical changes as we've moved to completely online instruction and services. In a couple of minutes, Mike Fitzgerald will provide some information on how to access library resources. But first, I have a few updates for you. Last week, there were some questions about the deadline for excused withdrawals, or EWs. I'm happy to announce that the deadline is, while the deadline has passed, you can still send petitions for EWs throughout the spring semester and even beyond. I'll ask our staff to post into the chat the email address to send petitions. But again, you can continue to send in petitions for EWs throughout the spring semester. Of course, I would encourage you to talk with a counselor before dropping any class. Also, remember about 2 weeks ago, we had a YouTube town hall and walked you through how you can connect with counselors. So if you do need to drop a class and want to chat with the counselor first, you can always look back at the YouTube video from a couple of weeks ago, and it walks you through the process. I'm also happy to announce that the first wave of CARES Act funding has been dispersed. We awarded $300 to every student that was awarded a Pell Grant and were not completely online prior to the pandemic. This included about 5,400 Valley College students. Right now, we're developing an additional process for making emergency grants for the remainder of the initial CARES Act funding that we've received. So look for additional information over the next 2 weeks on the additional CARES Act funding from emergency grants. I also want to express my appreciation to the Gene Haas Foundation for awarding 7 of our LAVC Manufacturing Academy graduates $500 stipends. And the Foundation for California Community College, in conjunction with the California Community College Chancellor's Office, is awarding 10 of our nursing students $450 each from the First Response Healthcare Student Support Fund. The Weingart Foundation has also generously awarded the LA Valley College Family Resource Center $25,000 in support of our students who are also parents. And my thanks and appreciation to the LAVC Foundation for awarding 132 students $250 each a couple of weeks ago. I was also just informed that the LAVC Foundation will be awarding an additional 16 students about $250 each in next week. Lastly, a couple of congratulations. Jessica Patterson was named the national champion in dramatic interpretation at the recent national speech tournament and ended the tournament in 5th place nationally. Way to go, Jessica. Rahanyan was awarded the Jack Kent Cook Scholarship. This is an incredibly prestigious scholarship. Over 1,500 students applied nationally, and only 50 awards were made. This scholarship provides $40,000 per year for 3 years for transfer students, and an additional $75,000 for students who go to graduate school. Our Phi Theta Kappa chapter participated in the Honors in Action program. Out of 2,500 programs nationally, ours was in the top 3. Now, with that, let me turn it over to Mike Fitzgerald to walk you through how to access the library resources. Mike?
Hi, everyone. Thank you, President Gribbins. Thank you, everyone, for coming out this afternoon. As he mentioned, my name is Mike Fitzgerald. I'm a librarian here at Valley College. And my goal today was just to spend a few minutes on the library website, pointing out a few very important ways that it's changed recently since everything has gone online, especially those things that I think are going to be very helpful for students as we get close to finals with final research papers. And even as we move on into the summer and fall semesters, which are also going to be almost exclusively online. But before I bring up the library website, I just wanted to take a step back for a second and talk big picture. I know that As students, you guys have been receiving lots and lots of emails and information over the past couple of months. And it's a lot of good information. There's a lot of really good help available to you on campus. But I think sometimes it can feel a little bit overwhelming. It could be a little bit of information overload, right? So how do librarians and libraries fit into this big picture of help on campus? One way that I want you guys to think of us is as professional researchers or professional searchers. Basically, we're really, really good at finding information. That good, trusted information that your professors want you to use on your assignments. And we present it in a way that's hopefully easy to understand. So for example, maybe you have a final research paper coming up in the next couple of weeks, and you're required to find 5 to 10 academic sources. A librarian is the perfect person to ask for help in that situation. And while most of our questions revolve around class assignments and academics, your question doesn't necessarily have to be related to academics or an assignment. Maybe you're interested in something in your personal life, or you just want to find out some information in general. We can also help you with that as well. So hopefully that clears things up a little bit and helps you place the library and librarians into kind of this big picture of help on campus here at Valley College. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and show you the library website. Here we are. The address is lib.lavc.edu if you want to come here directly. If you ever forget the address, though, an easy way to find our website is just by Googling LAVC library and clicking on the first result. So the first thing I want to point out to everyone is you have 24/7 access to librarians. No matter what day and what time, you can always talk to a librarian. The way you talk to a librarian is by clicking on this big round green button near the top of the screen. It says Ask a Librarian. You click on that, and you have a couple options here. On the left-hand side, you see a small gray box. That's our 24/7 live chat feature. So if you type in your info here with your question, you're going to be able to talk back and forth in real time with a librarian. And like I said, that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. One thing I want to point out about this is that when you're using this feature, the 24/7 feature, you're not talking to a Valley College librarian. You're talking to a network of librarians from around the country that are helping us cover all of our questions that come in. Now, if you want to talk directly to a Valley College librarian, you use this form on the right-hand side. So you fill out all your info here, you click submit your question down here at the bottom, and if you send it within our normal operating hours, which are listed up here at the top, you will generally get a response quickly, usually within about an hour. If you message us outside of these hours, you'll probably have to wait until the next time we're open to receive your answer. Now, maybe the question you want to ask us has already been answered and it's posted somewhere on our website. So another new section of our website I want to point out to you is the FAQ section. It stands for Frequently Asked Questions. And you can get to that page by clicking on FAQ up here in the top left corner of the screen in black. Or on our homepage, there's a giant button near the bottom left that says FAQs. It stands for Frequently Asked Questions. Now, the goal with this page is just to compile all of the common questions we get into one spot with answers. So as you see here, you'll see a list of our most popular questions. And as you could probably guess, the most popular question recently has been how to access library material from off campus. If you try to use our website over the past couple months, you've probably been asked to log in with a username and password. We've been getting lots of questions about what that username and password is. Well, if you click here, it's going to tell you what that is. It's going to link you out to directions, step-by-step, screenshots, videos if necessary, and it's going to answer that question for you. Now, if you can't find your question in our list here, you can use the search bar. For example, maybe you were a student that liked to check out laptops from the library and you used our laptops a lot. Now we're closed and you're wondering if you can find a laptop. How do you have access? Well, I just type in the word laptops and it looks like we have an FAQ on this topic. So you click there and it's going to tell you how you might be able to access a laptop while the library is closed. If you can't find your question answered here, we have links on the right-hand side under Contact Us that will let you send your question to us directly. Okay, back to the library homepage. Another really important new feature of our website that I want to point out is this button right here in the middle, Online Textbooks. So with most colleges going online recently, a lot of websites and publishers have started to offer books and textbooks for free online. So we've compiled some of them into this guide for you with directions on how to sign up on the websites and access those books. We've also done a lot of the legwork for you and compiled books by subject. So if you look at this tab up here at the top, maybe you're taking an astronomy class this semester at Valley College, and you want to see if any of your astronomy textbooks are available for free online. You can click on astronomy, and it looks like, yes, one of the textbooks that's used in a Valley College astronomy class is available for free online right now. So definitely take a look at our online textbook guide and see if you can find any of your textbooks for free. One thing I want to point out is that this is changing all the time. These publishers announced originally that these books might be available to the end of May, and they may extend that deadline. So keep checking back to this guide. We're going to update it as things change and let you know how you can find textbooks for free online. Back to the library homepage. One thing that we've always had on the site that I just want to reiterate is everything under this tab at the top that says Get Research Help. These are also little mini web pages, little guides we've created that will walk you through step by step how to do all of these things. How to access library materials from off campus, how to find books, how to find articles on our website, how to cite your sources. These two especially are really popular when we get to the end of the semester and students are writing research papers. The Find Articles guide and the Cite Sources guide are going to help you finding all that information for your paper, and it's going to help you put it into the right format when you're citing your sources. All right, before I am guilty of information overload, the last thing I want to point out is our big red button that says Online Services During Coronavirus Closure. If you click on that, basically what this page is it's compiled everything I've talked about over the past 5 minutes or so and put it all into one spot for you. So you can always go to our coronavirus page here and click on the links. It compiles it all nicely for you here. Okay, so I hope that I've helped clear things up a little bit for you here. I hope I've placed the library and librarians kind of into the bigger picture and let you know how we can help you. And I hope that we can talk to you guys in the virtual library at some point this semester. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Mike. As you can tell, we have a lot of librarians who love to help and support students. So please do reach out if there's anything you can ever do, anything you ever need from them. And now let me see if there's any questions in the chat that I can answer. Stephanie Cox has a question about being asked to repay financial aid from 14 days ago for an excused withdrawal. Stephanie, hold on just a little bit. We're working through some issues with students who dropped some of their classes, but not all of their classes. And we're looking to find a solution for you. You can contact our financial aid office, but they'll also be reaching out to you and other students that are in the same situation where they dropped a few classes with an EW, but not all their classes. We're looking to find solutions for you to minimize any impacts that might happen from that situation. But do give us just a few more days. We're just working through some issues on that. Tavi posted, why does EW say it's a penalty grade when there's no penalty? I'm not sure where you read that it's a penalty grade. The excused withdrawal is a grade that doesn't have any impacts to your GPA. And it's also being implemented to not impact any progress or to minimize any impacts to transfer as well. Miriam Hernandez asked about the second disbursement, and that indicated that she hasn't received hers yet. The second disbursement has been made. It was made about a week and a half ago. So if you haven't received your second financial aid disbursement, please do check back with the financial aid office. There may be a document that they're waiting for. Stephanie Mesa asks about DREAM Act recipients and whether or not they'll be able to receive funds. The CARES Act funding is only for students who have Pell Awards. So our Dreamers were not eligible for the CARES Act funding. However, we're committed to ensuring that our Dreamers are also supported. So we're making arrangements for $300 awards to our Dreamers who are also in similar need. More information should be coming out about that in the next couple of days as we work through the process of notifying the students that are eligible. But we will get information out, and we are making resources available to our Dreamers who have similar need as the Pell recipients. We are, of course, committed to all of our Dreamers. Rita had posted that the LA Times article indicated that the CARES Act was $1,000. I'm not sure about the specifics that were referenced in the CARES Act, but it is the awards throughout the LA Community College District were $300 each. Now that's only for the initial phase of awards, the automatic awards for Pell Grant recipients. We still have additional resources to award through emergency grants. So over the next week or two, we'll be able to provide more details on how to access the emergency grants. Those, though, will also have to follow the same federal guidelines and be available to students who are eligible for federal financial aid. And we continue to work through processes to find out ways that we can ensure that our other students who are not eligible for federal financial aid, but also have financial need, how we can support them too. There's a question from Isaac. There's going to be a second disbursement of CARES. Yes, the initial disbursement was an automatic disbursement to Pell recipients of $300, but we're also going to be dispersing additional funds through emergency grants for students that similarly qualify for federal financial aid. There's a question about any additional Chromebooks being available. I'm glad that you asked. The district has switched vendors for Chromebooks. If you've applied for a Chromebook and have not received one, and there's still about 300 Valley College students who applied for a Chromebook who have not yet received it, we are doing our best to get you the Chromebooks this week. The prior vendor is shipping a couple of dozen Chromebooks out, but we will also be mailing out Chromebooks directly to you from Valley College this week. And again, there's about 300 students who fit into that category. If you are in that category, you would have received an email at your LACCD email address on Friday asking for confirmation of your email address. We're also going to send a text message and a voice call to students who are on the list to receive Chromebooks. For those who had not applied for a Chromebook before the application process closed, the application process is currently closed, but we are looking for ways that we can fund additional Chromebooks because we recognize that there still is some additional need. There's a question about manufacturing classes still being on hold. The CNC, computerized numerical control classes, and machine classes, and asking when they will resume. We have 23 class sections out of the close to 1,400 class sections that were offered this spring. 23 classes were not able to be move to 100% online. We're currently looking for opportunities to move those 23 classes or resume face-to-face instruction when it's safe. Some of those class sections were nursing classes, and I'm thrilled that our nursing department has found clinical sites largely through COVID-19 testing locations for our nursing students to continue their practicum hours. I know that there's still some additional clinical hours that need to be met. There are a few other classes that we still need to find some ways of offering face-to-face instruction for. We're currently in the middle of planning for making recovery plans for the district and the college. And I would expect over the next 2 weeks, we'll be able to announce some more details for students who are in the similar situations and in those one of those 23 class sections that have not been able to be transitioned to fully online. So, and soon we'll have some more information out to you. There's a question about the parking refund and asking, is it legit? And I'll ask our staff to post information in the chat about the parking and any refunds for students that are graduating. There was an interest in the district providing a partial refund for students that are graduating, and staff will post in the group chat more information about that. Aaron asked about the grad images email. As we've announced in the previous YouTube town halls, we are moving forward with a virtual recognition of our graduates, 2020 graduates. Part of that virtual recognition will be students submitting pictures, and they'll even be able to submit a short video clip. Information about how to submit that, the location on where to submit that, will be emailed to you in the next week or so. Dorian asked about how students can get tassels and caps for graduation. The LA Valley College bookstore is able to provide caps and gowns for those of you who would like to order them from the LA Valley College bookstore, and we'll get more information out to you about how to make those purchases. Razin asked about updates from the district or the city government when the reopening might start and when we can expect some sort of information on that. There were some changes to the safer at home orders that were announced last week, and I understand that there'll be some additional announcements as early as later this week on additional changes to the safer at home orders. The state has identified five phases of the reopening, and currently we're moving to phase 2. Additional information on when we might move to phase 3 and phase 4 is not yet has not yet been released, but I have heard that the county expects to make some additional announcements this week. There was a question about international students' tuition and any expected changes in international students' tuition. I have not heard of any expected changes for international students' tuition at this time. Another question from Chicha about the taking the last class at Valley College and whether or not they can take one class at a different college, business calculus. Yes, but please do check with the counselor prior to registering in classes at another college so they can make sure that the individual classes meet your graduation requirements, especially since it's your last class before you graduate. We want to make sure that there's no unnecessary delays. Isaac asked a question about deadline to petition to graduate. And I'm going to have our staff post in the chat the email address for petitioning to graduate and also any key dates. There's a question from L about dropping, that 2 classes were dropped with an EW and whether or not there would be a refund in enrollment fees and how and when. I understand that the enrollment fees will be refunded, and I do not have any specific details at this time as to the process for the refund or when the refund will occur, but we'll post additional information in the chat, and also we'll add information to the frequently asked questions for students. Now let me see if there's any last questions. I don't see any last questions, but if I missed any, we'll add the questions to our frequently asked question and post that on our website. Oh, there is, I do see one last question about the fall semester and will it be online? The current plan is to have all fall classes online, and then we will add additional face-to-face classes when it's safe to do so. So as soon as we determine that it's safe to add face-to-face classes and it's consistent with the safer at home orders that are in place, then we'll add the additional classes to the schedule. But currently, all the classes that are planned for the fall are online, and the online schedule is expected to be released in about 3 weeks. Again, if I missed any questions, we'll be sure to add them in the frequently asked question on the LA Valley College website. Keep up the terrific work, especially as we enter this final stretch of the spring semester. You're doing a great job, and please don't hesitate to reach out to us and let us know how we can support you. Thank you and have a wonderful week.